Welcome to Finding the Word. It's Melanie Brown, and today's word is source. So we have all been in those situations where maybe we've made a decision or a choice, or there's something that we have gone into. Maybe we signed some documents thinking we were doing something great. I had a conversation with someone earlier where this had taken place. Only now someone's coming and saying, ooh, I've checked into this. I don't know. I'm not sure this was the right choice. Maybe this wasn't a good decision that you've made. Well, then it can throw us into like a tizzy. It can throw us into this place of, oh my God, what if I did? What if this means this or that? And we kind of start talking our way through these terrible outcomes that we start creating in our minds about the situation. Well, we have to consider the source of where it's coming from. In all things where we find ourselves out of a place of peace, what is the source of the information you're receiving? What is the source that is taking you in the direction you're going in? And so when you are considering the source, you have to look at whether it's coming from love or coming from fear. There are two places and the two sources where we're receiving things from. When it is, of course, a place of fear, then it sends you in a place of panic. And you start talking about things from a negative perspective and coming up with all these ideas and going down this rabbit hole. But when it's a place from love, there is peace. God still knows. Maybe we have not thought something all the way through. I do believe that he still is ordering our steps. I believe that he still knows and sees all, and that he protects us, and that he shields us and guides us, even if we think that we're walking into something on our own. God has a way at times, if you will not notice, of shutting doors on you when you're going to make a decision you should not make. He helps us all every step of the way. I don't believe there's a need for us to sit around in regrets or in fears of things, especially based on just what people have brought to us. These things have not even occurred most of the time. They're just things that could happen. So we need to stay rooted in who our source is, because the other source is who is the source of our peace? Who is the source of our provision? Who is the source for us daily that keeps us and provides for us? That is the only source that we need to be referring to and going to for our correct information. Now, I found for the word source, 2 Kings. I haven't been to 2 Kings. I couldn't remember in a minute. This is about Elisha, 2 Kings. It's chapter 2, verse 21, but I'm going to be reading 19 through 25, and this is on him, Elisha performing miracles. Then the men of the city said to Elisha, please notice the situation of this city is pleasant, as my Lord sees, but the water is bad and the ground barren. And he said, bring me a new bowl and put salt in it. So they brought it to him. Then he went out to the source of the water and cast in the salt there and said, thus says the Lord, I have healed this water. From it there shall be no more death or barrenness. So the water remains healed to this day, according to the word of Elisha, which he spoke. Then he went up from there to Bethel. And as he was going up the road, some youths came from the city and mocked him and said to him, go up, you bald head. Go up, you bald head. So he turned around and looked at them and pronounced a curse on them in the name of the Lord. And 2 female bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the youths. Then he went from there to Mount Carmel, and from there he returned to Samaria. I always found this very interesting. It was like, thus saith the Lord, the water is healed, and then in the name of the Lord, you cursed kids. It was like, I just found that fascinating. And also, when I was younger, kind of scary, because from that point, guaranteed, I was not saying a thing about anybody that I felt God had called or could have possibly called, certainly not his prophets. And to this day, I hold that to be truth. That was definitely one of those Bible stories that had an impact, right? Like you were all like, oh, but that one was, you're like looking at it like bears. Like this was a really gruesome sounding scene. Understanding that when we have a source coming to us, we got to consider what that source is, whether it's love or fear, which direction it's taking us in, that will let you know right there. And then consider our source that we are to go to, that we are rooted in, where we know that it's going to come from a place of love, that our source, that is our provision, and so that we can walk in peace. Don't forget who your source is. Don't forget to find the word, and I will see you tomorrow.